Oh, you got big beers. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Igor, colleague, good friend.
Indeed.
He's going to be joining us for a bit of an adventure around Les Eyzies. So we check out some sites in the next coming days.
Absolutely.
And part of that is making sure you drink enough beer and wine.
We're working on it.
Have to stay lubricated. All right, day one.
Day one.
Yep. Feeling a bit worse for wear. Bit too much pastis, bit too much wine. But that's what you do in the south of France.
I think we can do multiple things today.
We can do multiple things.
I think we go to Roque Saint Cristophe.
Yep.
And then we visit Moustier.
Okay.
Because it's across the road.
Yep. So Igor, tell me about your opinion of the archaeology of the region.
Oh, it's beautiful. Very, very dense. People lived here for 300,000 years and occupied pretty much every cave and rock shelter. And no matter where you dig, it's absolutely full of artifacts. So it's a very special place.
And maybe tell me a bit about you. What do you do?
My name is Igor. I focus on what's called the Middle to Upper Paleolithic transition, which is the period of time where Neanderthals were replaced by members of our species. And my specialty is actually in lithic analysis, which is basically the analysis of how people produced stone tools in the past.
He's a rock man.
I'm a rock man.
He's a rock and roller.
Oh yes, the wrong kind of rock star.
Yes. One place we're going to, Roque Saint Cristophe, has a bunch of replications of what was happening back in the past, because it was also a medieval site. So we're also going to see some Neanderthal really tacky statues fighting off a cave bear, I think. So we'll check that out. You know, could be funny, could be great, could be educational.
Let's see.
Let's see. Rock and roll. We've arrived at Roque Saint Cristophe. So there you go. 55,000 years ago. It starts, and you can see some pretty tacky looking replications of Neanderthals, which I'm very interested in. So yeah,
I'm curious.
Let's learn. Get ready to learn.
Very peaceful.
So Igor, you're going to be the tour guide today.
Yes. Although this is not exactly my period. I don't know how much.
Well, you know, take it till you make it.
That's true.
Bit of explanation. 55,000 years. All the way to 1588. And this little guy, I assume, is what the size of people were back then. Formidable. Some reconstructions.
Some flint.
There's some flint nodules. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
About flint nodules?
Yeah.
Well, this area is actually super rich in
So yeah, they have to break this off from the stone, right?
yeah, exactly.
This is very rich in flint, the whole area.
Very rich, because actually it's inside the limestone cliffs. You have the nodules of flint.
Okay.
And then as the limestone weathers, the flint falls out, basically. And people picked it up all across the river valley, deteriorating from the limestone. That's probably the reason why there's such a rich and very impressive stone tool industry here, is just because they have so much nice flint at their disposal.
Okay.
And also in a lot of the cave sites, I mean, there's evidence of people transporting flint from like 100 kilometers away.
Okay. Even here they're transporting flint to here, or is this sort of...
To here, I'm not sure about this site, but at Le Moustier, which is over there.
Yep.
We also have flint from Bergerac. So people were moving, bringing their tools, depositing stuff.
Yeah, so we get an explanation of why you have these little niches carved into the rocks that support
For
the structures, for the troglodytes. Which, contrary to my understanding, doesn't actually mean ugly people. It's where the animals were kept.
Apparently.
So we head into the rock. So the rock is apparently the largest open-air troglodyte site in Europe. This is just a portion. So it's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, it's apparently 1 kilometer long.
1 kilometer.
Et vous voyez que là, ça devient étrange de se dire
Wow.
il y a 35 mètres de hauteur et il y a 6 tonnes.
Is it crucifix carved into the rock?
Première tombe, elle se voit bien. Il y a deux.
I guess this is how they brought stuff up.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I could just imagine it being quite a noisy place.
Yeah.
Smelly, butchering animals, smoking them.
I wonder how many people lived here.
At least 5. Oh, we're at the end of it. Yeah, I think down here you can see the remnants of some fortification next to the river, right?
Must be, yeah.
Down here.
Yeah.
Pretty secure place. Defend against the Vikings and the Normans. Although apparently the largest staircase carved from a single block of rock in Europe. They found remnants of catapults around here.
Oh.
Used to defend the city from invaders. Hey, buddy. Oh, you poor miserable fool.
Sad bloke, eh?
What did you do? That sucks for you, mate.
That's pretty deep.
Yep. But someone's given you a little friendship bracelet. That's nice. Ah, wow. This is where all the magic happens.
Here we go.
Here we go.
What's that thing called? A morning star.
Yeah, I think so. You know, all the representations of people are very small, and you look at the helmets, and that's a big head.
That's a massive head.
Yeah. Yeah, for context.
Nice place for a bomb.
Yeah. Small bodies and big heads. Yeah. Interesting. Kitchen. Here we have reconstruction of some burials. The Bronze Age tomb.
This is which one?
Ah, there we go. Yeah, this is the money shot. Neanderthal man. Can you
Anxiety.
tell us a little bit about this scene? As a Paleolithic expert, if we can hear you over the screams.
A little bit about this scene. Well, probably not overly accurate. But I'm sure people actually did have encounters with cave bears, because they used to hibernate in caves, of course.
So we have no evidence for beads, necklaces like that. No adornments anywhere? No.
No, they have some adornments, or like alleged adornments, like raptor claws.
Okay.
But it's sketchy evidence.
Right.
But of beads like that, there's no evidence.
Okay.
in
Nothing
the Neanderthal
perforated.
world. No.
Okay. Inaccuracies. Yeah. It's a bit hectic, particularly if you've had too many pastisses the night before.
Yes. And wine and beer.
And wine and beer.
Yeah.
All the French delights.
It was fun though.
Was fun.
But now I want to die.
Yep, let's go get some food.
Yeah.
And relax a bit. Well, that was interesting. A journey through time. 55,000 years.
Yeah. Super nice actually.
Yeah.
It exceeded my expectation.
There you go. And we have the watchman.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Au revoir. We're now at the small town of Moustier, and the site, famous as being the namesake of the Mousterian tradition, which our friend Igor will tell you a little bit about.
Oh, I don't know if Igor can with this hangover.
You can do it, mate.
But this is a super famous site called Le Moustier, and it's actually it's called in French abris, which are rock shelters.
Okay.
You have the grand abri, which unfortunately you can't see, but it's up there on the plateau.
Right.
And this is the lower abri.
And you were working here recently.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago. It takes a long time to excavate because it's so rich in artifacts that actually each year in 3 weeks we only dig about maybe 15 or 20 centimeters over a surface that's like maybe 1.5 meters wide.
Okay.
And so for context, from this excavation area down here, in the last 10 years, so like 1 month of excavation per year, they've excavated 65,000 artifacts.
Wow.
From this tiny surface.
So this is really dense.
Yeah, it's super dense.
Yeah, it's really quite small, hey? So this was discovered because there was a house on top, right?
There was a house, it was a troglodytic house.
Yep, built into the rocks.
Built into the rocks, yeah. And then I think they were tearing it down or renovating, I can't remember. And then under the floor they found Paleolithic deposits, and it was excavated by a few people over the last 100 years. Because obviously excavation standards were very different at the time. So for context, like this entire pit that you see here was excavated.
They just ripped it out.
Ripped it out in a matter of like a year or two.
Wow.
And then this is all the backfill from their excavations. Like this mound here is
okay.
So they were just throwing stuff into here.
Yeah, so there could be a lot of stuff in here, right? It's just out of context.
Yeah, absolutely. They defined their stratigraphic layers very differently to how we would today. And so part of what's happening here is we're coming back to the site, excavating much slower, much more methodically.
Okay.
And kind of re-evaluating what we call the chronocultural sequence.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's it basically.
Okay, so what time period does this span, this site?
Yeah, it spans from about, I think at the very bottom, it's a sterile layer that's around 80,000 years old. And then it goes up until, let's say, 35,000. So it's around 50,000 years preserved here. And actually the preservation is amazing. So in some of the layers, the layer we just excavated this summer, the lithics, the stone tools, look as if they were napped yesterday.
Wow.
Actually, I've never seen anything like it, so it's unbelievable. The term Mousterian is used for like a 300,000 year period, stretching from assemblages from Portugal all the way to China. And it all comes from this site, or at least the name comes from
Abri
Le Moustier.
Prehistorique de Moustier. This is a historic monument. Church of Saint Robert de Moustier.
You can go inside.
Yeah, from the 12th century. Right across from where Le Moustier, the site, is.